Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate here at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and welcome to the series that we are calling Do You Know? Today's Do You Know question has to do with the feast of St. Jerome, which we celebrate every year on September the 30th. St. Jerome was born in the year 345 and died in the year 420. And many biblical scholars today owe a great deal of debt to St. Jerome, who, in that early part of the church, set the standard for what biblical studies should be about. St. Jerome was a great scholar of his day, conversant in Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. And he set about the task of translating the Bible from the original languages. He had been a secretary to Pope Damasus, who was Pope from 366 to 384. And Pope Damasus was aware that the language that the people were using in the West, at least, originally being Greek, the international language, now most common people were speaking Latin. And therefore, he wanted people to engage the scriptures in a language that they understood. And therefore, he commissioned his secretary, St. Jerome, to go and take time off and really begin to translate the entire Bible from the original languages into Latin so that people could read and understand and interpret it properly. And St. Jerome went about doing that. St. Jerome is also a great and fascinating character in terms of we have a lot of his correspondence that still exists to this very day, letters that he wrote and so on. Interesting personality, and there's a famous controversial letters that between himself and St. Augustine, which would be worthwhile exploring if you get the chance. What we do know is that the translation that he did produce by the time he died in the year 420, the translation he did produce from the original languages into Latin was referred to as the Vulgus, or which came to be known as the Vulgate. Vulgus was the Latin term for common people, meaning that this translation was intended for those people who spoke Latin and for the common people to read and interpret it. This translation actually became the standard translation for Catholics up till the Second Vatican Council. As a matter of fact, it was the only translation that was allowed up to the Second Vatican Council. In the year 1943, Pope Pius XII actually encouraged Catholic biblical scholars to model themselves on the language, the scholarship that Jerome had modeled for them, and go back to the original languages to translate the Bible into English that most people would be able to read and understand. English in the United States, of course, vernacular throughout the world. So starting with St. Jerome and to this very day, we continue that tradition of translating the Bible from the original languages into languages that people can understand, read, and interpret the Bible correctly. I hope this has helped you understand something about St. Jerome and his current connection that we have to all biblical scholarship, especially reading the Bible in a way that is significant and important for every person who wants to immerse themselves into Scripture. Thank you very much.